Hello, and today we're going to look at a new virtual tabletop that's just come out called Mythic Table. Now, up front, I just want to make it clear that I have done some voluntary work for Mythic Table. I've not been involved in any of the coding or any of the design, but I did do some work looking at some quality assurance with editing documents, and I did help them with some of their press releases and contacting customers this month when it was, or last month when it was released. So I want to be upfront about that, but I say it's only voluntary work. So what is Mythic Table? Well, Mythic Table is a brand new virtual tabletop. It's just had its first playable, which came out on the 21st of November 2020. And what makes Mythic Table different from all the other virtual tabletops? Well, basically, it's an open source software, and they are an open company. They are completely above board. They open all their books, so you can see all of their books. They're a not-for-profit company, so they rely on people like yourselves to support them. They do have a Patreon where you can give money towards it, but the main idea behind the whole virtual tabletop is that they want anybody and everybody to get involved. So if you are a coder, you can get involved. If you have design skills, you can get involved, and they are very welcoming, and that's why I did some work for them to help them out with some editing. They basically, Mark Follies is the gentleman behind the company and behind the virtual tabletop. Last year he decided he wanted to create a virtual tabletop, and the company, instead of being a commercial company, they decided to go open source and open company and not for profit, which I think is a real good idea. That's why I want to push the product. So let's have a look at their first playable. This is not the final product by any means. This is, as it says, this is the first iteration. Basically, you click on the Play Now button, and that will take you to the login screen, or you can log in as a guest. I've already logged in with an account, so I'm going to show you what you see when you first log in. So this is the first screen. You have a token engine, so you can create your own tokens right inside the character editor within Mythic Table. You've got some drawing tools, which to quickly mark up your maps. You've got a dice engine built into the chat, and you can just type the dice rolls straight into the chat, or you can embed them, and a user-friendly UI. And they got links to their Discord, the Patreon, the Twitter, and the Reddit. So this is where you create your new campaigns. Up here, you've got your account, and you can edit your profile. So we go here on the left is our tutorial campaign. It's a big info about what it is, and let's go into this tutorial campaign to see. So here we are. We have the different scenes. On the left hand side here, you can change the scenes. You've got the chat above it, and then below that, let's go to full screen, give us a bit more real estate. And then below that, you've got your characters. So the scenes here, as you can see from the outset, you can zoom in using your mouse wheel. And if you hold the left mouse button down, you can move the map left and right. You can use the drawing tools to point out areas on the map, and the drawing tools are up here on the left. Click on the icon here, and you can draw on the map, and after a short while these drawings will fade. You can roll dice in the chat, so if you go up to the chat here and we just type 1d20, and there's our dice roll 1d20, they roll to 6. We can also do modifiers, so if we've got a 1d20 plus 3, just type that in the chat and we get the results. We do 2d20. Now I'm not sure the syntax, so I don't know if you can keep advantage. It's going to be 2d20 keep highest. Is it going to be that? Nope. And have you noticed it is keeping some of the dice rolls here, so we've got them. There is some syntax which that you can learn, but we'll get onto that a little bit more. So we select these scenes from the panels, and you can also embed dice rolls into your chat. So let's say Jane strikes with her sword, and embed 1d20 plus 1. And why didn't that work? Strange. Arthur strikes. So if I do normal chat, it should appear in there. There it does. Arthur strikes. And it's saying double dash 1d20 plus 1 for sword. There we go. There we go. I must have mistyped it earlier or pressed the wrong button. So yes, so you can type it directly into the box. So let's go on to the next. That was the first scene. So on to the next scene. Get off the drawing tool, switch the drawing tools off. Click and drag to interact with any tokens on the map. So we have a token, so you can drag the tokens around. Zoom in and out with a scroll wheel. I do like that they've gone with some simple instructions to show you, it shows you visually what to do. Double click the token for more options. So here is the token, and we'll have a look at that in a second. Add a new one from the library on the right, so you can drag tokens from the right in. And now let's select the next scene. So these are some of the scenes that I've been playing around with. So let's look some more at a scene then. So let's take the scene here, we edit it. You've got the name, any notes that you want to add to the scene. Below that for the GM, so you could put dusk or whatever you wanted in there. You've got the grid type, you can have square, hex or none. The grid size in the pixels. You can edit the map, so you can add a new map on there, and you can hide from players. And you can see that this map is 26 by 20. The grid size is 39. You can see that the grid size doesn't match up, so it's either the grid size is incorrect. From what I believe, there is some issues with the grids not being editable after, and the team are looking into that. So let's add a new map to see how we add a new map. So it's obviously we've got the plus button here. We'll edit the map here. Let's see if I've got any maps that I can use. Gotta have some maps here somewhere. Well, obviously I've got some maps somewhere. It's just finding some maps that I've already used. And let's go to some, there we go. So let's bring in, of course, the ones I got. I don't know, does it, let's see, does it use, will it bring a WebP map in? That I don't know. Yes, it does, okay. I'll leave it at 50. We'll call it, and add that. And there's the new scene. If we alter the size of these squares, does that make any difference? So let's change that to 60. Yeah, I think I need some more work on the size of the square. So we'll put click that to none. Okay, so then if we want to add a character, let's add a character. We can upload a token image, and I've got some tokens I know I have. So let's go to tokens. Let's bring in one of my PCs, one of my games. These tokens are from Paper Forge Minis. Subscribe to them on Patreon. They do some great tokens, as you can see. Really nice to get, depending on the different tiers, you get different levels of tokens. So we'll call this Ungar. He is a red-haired dwarf. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of description field here. So I'm thinking that if you wanted to, because they don't have character sheets, you could actually put some stats in here. So you could do strength +2, intelligence 0. You can actually put some of the stuff in there. You've got a public button or a hidden button, a private button, so the GM can put them on the screen. So we're going to make this one public, and we'll drag him on the screen. Of course, if we double click him, we've got access to the description. So let's make this one private. As you can see, that one won't, from what I can understand, is in the game, a private one won't appear in the character box for the players to see, but obviously it still appears in the screen. It's private, and then we can make it public by double clicking, and now it is seen. We can also change the style of the token. So once the token is, once the token is on screen, by double clicking, you've got some styles. So you've got a coin style, you've got a tile style, a circle, and a square. So we'll make this a tile, and if you click that, you'll see now that this has changed. You can also change the outline colors to it, and the sizes from tiny to huge. So if this was a small dwarf, you can make it tiny, and let's get rid of that. That's a circle, that was it. And let's switch off the, there we go. And as you see, when you select a token, it highlights it, and that's what the green colour is around it. You can also add some icons to it. So if you wanted to, example, add an icon to signify something, click on it and it will put that icon of the character. So that is a nice touch as well. So nice simple controls. It explains itself. You can add more colours, and there we go. So that is your characters. We've touched on the scenes, and we've touched on the chat. So you can see it's a nice interface. You can minimize it to the side, and then you can just get on with moving your characters around. I don't know if they always seem to snap to grid, whether there's a way to not snap to grid. I haven't found it yet, but let's see what other controls we've got here. That takes us back to our new campaign. If you want to create a new campaign, we can do it there. I'm going to go back to the tutorial campaign again. Let's go back to our map. So that was clicking on there. If we click the arrow to the left, that minimizes the toolbar up here. We have, this is the person's name who's playing and what you want it to be displayed as. So you could just put on there GM, and as other players join your game, I'm assuming I'm not playing with anybody else, that it's going to give a list of players there. And your colours, you don't seem to be able to change your colours, you just have that colour there that you can draw on. But I'm guessing once you have, if you have a colour on here, then maybe that will change. So those are the two things. Description takes you to the name there, and token will gives you the further details there. So let's put a red circle around him. No, it doesn't change. Okay, so that is Mythic Table, first playable. As you see, it's nice and simple. So if you want a virtual tabletop that is just tokens and maps, and you want to do some dice rolling, then this is nice and easy. It's completely free. They say in their blurb that they are never going to charge. You're not going to get anything behind a paywall, and they are going to rely on people to donate money or to donate time to keep this thing running. So yeah, check that out. So that's mythictable.com. Join their Discord. They've got a friendly Discord, and you can find out more about it. So that's all for this episode, and I'll see you all on the flip side.